and Shane Dorian and these amazing young surfers who very focused, very clean. But I think surfing was sort of at the forefront of that whole drug culture lifestyle. It was just part of the kind of territory. Surfers were smuggling, surfers were dealing. There was a lot of dope. It just was dope, a lot of dope in surfing back then. And the first time I went to Hawaii by myself to try to make my mark on the North Shore, this family let me rent a room from them. And I talk about it in my new book. I talk about it in the very first chapter, in the very first line. It's a chapter called I Will Be Myself. And the kid who, it was a mom and dad and a kid who was my age, who was 19, same age as me, and this kid was red hot at pipeline. He was like, I was looking at this guy and going, this guy's going to be hard to beat, really great surfer. And the parents rented a room for me downstairs from the main house. So I'd been staying there a couple of days, and I walked upstairs to see the young guy. And he's sitting at the foot of his bed, and I can remember this like it was yesterday. He's sitting at the foot of his bed, and he's got a piece of aluminium foil, and he's got a little pile of white powder and a lighter. He's got the lighter underneath and a silver straw. And he's just sucking up the fumes as I walk in. And I look at him, and he goes, "Hey Shaun, you got to try this. All the guys at Pipeline are doing it." That's what he said to me. "Shaun, you've got to try this. All the guys at Pipeline are doing this." Now, like Pipeline, man, I had that poster of Pipeline above my bed for my whole youth. John Peck at Pipeline. I wanted to be one of those guys at Pipeline. And I just looked at this. Like, he's a young guy. I want to be friends. He's a cool dude. And all the guys at Pipeline are doing it. And I went, no, it's not for me. And it wasn't like I felt uncomfortable. It wasn't for me. And I walked away. And I left the house a few days later. I just didn't feel good, being in that sort of environment. And unfortunately, I heard 3 months later, the kid died and overdosed from heroin. So they called it Chasing the Dragon. That's how I opened my new book, Chasing the Dragon. That's what they called it, Chasing the Dragon, when kids smoke heroin. And now it's become a huge problem again on the West Coast. In the surfing community, young kids are chasing the dragon because it goes straight to the brain. But as parents, it's hard for our kids. And I wrote this book because I lost my boy. I wrote this book because he inspired me to write this book. And when I gave a talk at a school in Santa Barbara, I was speaking to kids about my first book about surfer's code and about the lessons that surfing has taught me about life. I asked them to write 12 promises to themselves as a homework assignment. And about 2 weeks later, the teacher sent me back the answers of the homework assignment from these kids. So I asked them to write, just like I wrote surfer's code, 12 lines. Every line begins with I will. I want you to make 12 promises to yourself about your future. Like, what are you going to do? Whatever you think, just write 12 lines. Simple exercise. And I'm actually trying to get this exercise put in every school in the country. It's not going to cost teachers anything. Just once a year, they write 12 lines. I will care. I will whatever. Whatever a kid wants to write. And the first answer I got back in the hundreds and hundreds of replies I got was, I will be myself. That was what it was. And I knew when I saw that, I had to do something about it because kids have so much thrown at them. Man, the life is dangerous for our kids. You have to be so careful and they have to be so aware. And I think that mantra, if kids just get it, like, I'm not going to succumb to peer pressure. I'm just going to be myself. It's sort of like a chilled statement. It's like easy. I'll be myself. Thank you, but no thanks. It's not like I'm going to fight my way through this peer pressure. It's just like, I'll be myself. It's simple. So don't know where I got that from. I don't know where I got it. I got it from my mom, my dad. I don't know. I just had it. I just didn't want to go down that path of destruction. I think those words, for me, thinking about them now, and I'm going to make this a mission of mine to get this concept out there into the youth community, and hopefully, man, if we can save one life, because 12,000 kids die every year in this country from preventable deaths. 12,000, 12 to 19. I call that the danger demo, because kids in that period have more chances of dying than at any other time in their life, whether it's suicide, whether it's drugs, whether it's car crashes. It's just a dangerous time. So I'm just hoping that maybe all of you, if you dig the message, you can get it out there. Maybe, a teacher, spoken to a couple of guys tonight that they teachers, just get them once a year to get their kids, get their school to write the code, get the kids to write their own code, and then share it with each other and inspire each other. And maybe magic can happen, because like I said, when I stood there on the beach with the rabbits, and he told me he was going to be a pro, man, it was magic and it changed my life.